Probably one of the most confusing aspects of carp fishing, or should I say the most confusing, is rigs. And it really shouldn't be. To me, as long as the mechanics are sound and it's simple, then it's going to catch me carp. I see so much written about them and it must be so confusing to everybody. Just keep it simple. I'm going to show you a rig that I have every confidence in, and the key word there was confidence. If I had any advice for anybody about rigs, is find something that you're happy with, learn how to adapt it for different situations, and simply fish with that rig, and then you'll get the best from it. This is a rig that in essence I've used for 25 years. Okay, the components have got better and better over the years, but the mechanics and the principle of the rig are exactly the same. I'll just talk you through how I set it up. It's actually 6 inches of Camotex dark camo. The first thing I'm going to do is strip about 4 inches off the end and tie an overhand knot in it and attach my hook bait. And that really must be the first thing you do, is attach the hook bait, because then you can set up the hair exactly where you want it. If you do it beforehand, then you can make mistakes and you've got to start all over again. So the hook bait on, I knot it onto a size 7 SSC hook. And the next thing I do is run down a liner adapter. I used to use shrink tubing, but now I haven't got to waste time boiling up my kettle to set up a rig. I run that down, and it's an adapter that makes sure that hook bait stays in the right position to take hold in the carp's mouth for as long as possible, and that just gives you a greater chance of hooking it. The strippable bit of braid, I want about 3 or 4 mils sticking out the end of the adapter, just to give it that little bit more movement and ensure that it's going to drop down into the bottom lip. Up to the other end, there's an anti-tangle sleeve there for obvious reasons. The loop at the top that the tension bar is going through is tied with a figure of 8 knot. Don't be tempted to just use an overhand knot in that, because it will weaken it slightly. A figure of 8 knot seems to be a lot more reliable. And in essence, that's the rig itself, a rig that I have so much confidence in. The one thing that you've probably noticed is the hook bait. And this is a dumbbell hooker. It's tipped with a bit of plastic, this time white. I'm not really bothered by the colour of my hook bait. I don't think carp feed by eyesight. I think their smell and their taste is a much more important thing for them. It's there solely to negate the weight of the hook. I'm not trying to balance the hook bait, just get rid of the weight of the hook and make that hook bait behave as naturally as the free offerings. And then to the dumbbell hooker itself. For the past 6 or 7 years, that is the only kind of hook bait I will use when I'm fishing bottom baits. And there are 3 very good reasons for that. First and foremost, it's a very durable hook bait. It's very hard. Easy to get your baiting needle through, but it's very durable. It will survive the attentions of small fish pecking away at it, and tufties and coots. And sometimes you need to leave a hook bait in position for quite a while before you're going to get that bite, and that makes it ideal in that situation. The other thing is it's overloaded slightly with flavours, so if you have left it there for a while, it's still kicking out those food signals to the carp that are feeding there. And thirdly, the shape of the hook bait. It is completely different. I've always believed that a round bait being ejected from a carp's mouth is very easy for the fish to do. This is slightly more awkward. And if it is awkward, it keeps the hook in the fish's mouth a lot longer, and the longer it's there, the more likely I am to hook it. As I've said before, I've used this setup for over 25 years now. The components have changed slightly, but in essence the mechanics are exactly the same. I've used it on some of the hardest lone lakes on the planet, and it's been successful. And it's confidence. I'm confident I'll use it anywhere. And an old, very used saying, but if it ain't broke, it don't need fixing.